Well, for trying to do a no spend month, this month certainly got really friggin' expensive. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is officially May, so that means it's time for the April budget review. Now, before I go through everything line by line, I'm just gonna tell you right now, this month was really freaking expensive. And if you saw my March budget review video and April money goals, you know I was trying to do a no spend month. So, I sort of did, in the sense that my purposes for the no spend month were to cut back on shopping and eating out. Let's just say there was a lot of money moving around this month, and so I was just trying to focus on not shopping and not going out to eat. But as we go through the budget, we'll discuss those items. But overall, I spent a lot of money this month. Not that it was necessarily bad in any way. It just, you plan to do something and it just goes in the opposite direction. That happens every freaking time, I feel like. But that's okay. Let's just get into it. And another thing I just want to highlight is that I always go through my monthly money goals and did I reach them, did I not, at the end of the video. But this is the first month where I have not had closing on my investment property as a money goal for the month, just because I started the process of purchasing my investment property back in September and it kept not happening and not happening and not happening. So in my March budget review video, I said, heck with it. I'm not putting it on my goals list for April because it'll just happen when it happens and I'm sick of not meeting my goals. Well, wouldn't you know? It happened. So that's really exciting, which you already know that if you saw my Transfer Tuesday video this week, but I'm just reiterating it here for those who might not have seen that video. But very exciting. I'm super happy. That was one of my 4 overall money goals for the year of 2021. So that is 1 goal down. Woo! Very exciting. Let's get started. Okay, so here's our line by line budget. So the first thing I'm going to highlight is that my W-2 income is different than previous months. I did get a raise in January, but I just never bothered to take the time to calculate what the difference was for my goal, which means that for the pay period I was only working 40 hours a week, no overtime, no shift differential. I didn't bother to take the time to calculate out what that would be. And so now I have finally worked a pay period that only had 2 weeks of 40 straight hours with no shift differential and no overtime. So now I know that the minimum I'm going to bring home for a month is $5,360. So that has gone up a little bit from, like I said, from the previous months. So that'll be my new goal income for the rest of the year going forward from my W-2 job. And now my actual take-home pay for the month was $9,890, which is over the goal, so that's good. And that's the only income I really had. Yeah, that's the only income I had for the month of April. So now down to the expenses. My rent is always $1,000, and like I mention every time, that includes all utilities, even the internet. So that's lovely. And I spent $1,000 as usual, so that's good. Fed loans, which is the only student loan payment that I have left that has all my federal loans. Those are currently on forbearance until the end of September right now. My normal monthly payment is $705.69, but I actually did not pay anything since they are on forbearance. And my gym membership is $22.99 a month, and that's exactly what I paid. My Netflix is always $17.99 a month. My cell phone bill fluctuates a little bit, but it's generally always $61.04 a month, which is what it was. groceries and food, I'm budgeting myself $400 a month. And I actually spent $405.91, so pretty dang close, but we did go over by $5.91. No big deal. And then gas and car wash, I always budget myself $60 since I live in New England. Car washes are kind of important. But I spent $50.67, which means I was $9.33 under. And then chiropractor, I try to see my chiropractor every week, and he is $40 a visit. So I budget $160 for the month, but I was only able to visit him 3 times this month, so I spent $120 and therefore was $40 under. Massage is always the same. I always spend $75. Pet supplies, I budget myself $25, but I actually spent $25.92, which is obviously 92 cents over. Shopping. Right, like I mentioned, I was trying to do a no shopping month. I failed. Let's just say right now, I failed. I spent $61.58, and that was spent on both a haircut, and I also bought a plant stand that I've been wanting, and two other things. I bought 2 plant pots as well. I don't know if a haircut really counts as shopping, but it does for me since it's not something to budget for, since it's not, I don't know, I'm just not one of those girls that's all about the haircut. I don't know. You can probably tell from my videos, my hair does whatever the hell it wants most days, so I don't really give a shit. Investing. I had an investing goal of $325 for this month, and what that is my normal monthly automatic investment of $125 into FundRise. And then one of my monthly money goals for this month was I wanted to contribute $200 to my Roth IRA. So the 200 plus the 125 is where I got the 325. Here's where the really freaking expensive month business starts to come into play. So I did the 200 to my Roth and I did the 125 to FundRise, but then I realized I'm an idiot, and I can't remember how or why I realized it, but I realized you can only contribute to last year's Roth IRA up until tax day. So someone please correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I just found that out the other day and I felt kind of silly. So then I kind of had an oh shit moment and realized I really needed to throw some cash into my Roth IRA for 2020, since I had at the beginning of the month I had only contributed like $785 or something like that from last year. So tax day I think is May 17th, so that's coming up really quickly. So I panicked and fisted a bunch of money into my Roth for the year of 2020 in the amount of $3,613.07. So the actual total that I invested altogether was $3,938.07. And I'm not going to say that's over or under budget just because it's investing. I don't really feel like I should be looking at it as I went over budget. It's always going to be a positive thing, and I'm always going to be happy if I am able to invest more than I actually planned. So that I'm totally okay with. And I'll come back to that because that's only the start of where things got a little hairy this month. So then my donate goal of $50, I donated $50 to a friend of mine's son who is going on a school trip to France next year with his high school class, and I got to do that when I was in high school, so I'm all about supporting that kind of thing. It was an awesome experience, and I hope he has a great experience as well. Now, here's the next bit where things got a little pricey. So I don't I haven't really been paying attention to the rest of the country, but for us here in New Hampshire, the post-travel quarantine restriction was lifted sometime at the end of March or the beginning of April. I don't remember, but either way, I decided to take the opportunity to go see my best friend. It was way, way, way long overdue. And yeah, it was needed mentally. It was just something I'm very happy I did. It was very good to see her. It had been since November of 2019 since I was last down to visit her, which is just unacceptable. So once they lifted that restriction and I could take a vacation without having to take 2 more weeks of vacation away from work just to recuperate. Once that was lifted, it was game on for the travel. So all together with my airline fees, the plane ticket, all the fun we had while there. I don't consider this shopping. This was all travel. It just needed to happen. On that entire trip, I spent $1,432.56. Again, I'm not going to count that as over budget just because, I don't know, just because I'm not. It's something I wanted to do, something I very much enjoyed, and I'm considering it a form of self-love, I guess you could say. I don't know, but I'm not counting that as a negative over my budget, and I'm not counting it as shopping or eating out either. It just doesn't count for me in my book. So, if you want to calculate things differently, you have, by all means, but this is just how I'm choosing to look at it. And then the next category is where things continue to be expensive. So I'm just going to plop a category in here called car/medical. So if you've been following my Transfer Tuesday videos, you know that I had to get Invisalign this month. And I am no longer eligible for insurance coverage for orthodontic work, so I had to come up with this money out of pocket, with the exception of about $1,600 for my HSA. So the rest of it had to come out of my pocket. And I also had to register my car this month. So the car registration itself was $460.70. And then the Invisalign cost me $3,190 out of pocket for a total of $3,650.70. So this kind of example right here is why I want to have a $4,000 emergency fund for vet, medical, and car stuff. I know that I could always pull that from my general emergency fund, but in my mind, I feel more comfortable having separate kind of quote-unquote emergency funds for car stuff and vet and medical stuff, because that right there. And also, if you saw my February budget review video, I had a really high vet bill. So these things pop up, and luckily I had the money on hand to just pay for it out of pocket, and if I can do that, I always will do that. But just having those extra bits of emergency fund for those particular kind of items makes me feel more comfortable. So just in case if you've ever wondered why I'd have a general emergency fund and then an additional emergency fund for car, vet, and medical, that's kind of why right there. So as you can see, I was trying to have a low spend month and things just went the opposite direction. But that's okay. That's gonna happen. That's called life. It's all good. The good news is, in my debt category, this is the first month where I only have one row of debt. Yay! So it's just my federal student loans, like I mentioned earlier. They are on forbearance until the end of September, so I still have not paid anything to that balance. However, as I've been mentioning all along, that I am saving for them, even though I'm not directly paying on them right now. And I've explained in previous videos that I'm not paying towards them just because with the Biden administration, there's talk of student loan forgiveness up in the air. And so until everything is kind of settled and figured out come the end of September, I don't want to pay anything towards them. I just want to kind of wait it out and see what happens, but still be saving on the side so that I am prepared when that end of September comes due. I can throw a lump sum at them if I so choose, which I do choose. And especially because about $7,600 of this balance is just outstanding interest, and I absolutely want to have at least that amount saved up when the time comes, which up until this month I did have that full amount saved up, but I actually did pull from that money that I had saved for my student loans to cover some of the Invisalign. So I did have the $7,600 saved, but right now I am back down to only having $4,500 saved towards that $186,000. So if you take away what I actually have saved, then the remaining that I would have to come up with is $181,400.22. And now obviously I know this balance is going to accrue interest when, come September, the payments come due, the interest, goes back to normal, having been at 0% for over a year now. Obviously, I know that number is not actually what it's going to stay at, just because interest will build every month. But whatever, we're just keeping it easy math right now. And even though I did have to pull from this, I still am on track to be able to put $30,000 towards this for the year of 2021, which is one of my 2021 financial goals, in addition to buying that investment property. And if you didn't see my 2021 money goals, I will have that video linked below. I think I just posted that last week, so you can go back and check that out. But moving on to our sinking funds. And if you saw my Transfer Tuesday video, you know I already hit a pretty big goal as far as my emergency funds go as well, sinking funds. I keep interchanging those words. But anyway, my first sinking fund is my emergency fund, and this is my general emergency fund where I have a $10,000 goal. And as of last week, I did hit that goal. Yay! So that is fully funded. And the next one is my Roth IRA 2021, which, as you know, you can contribute up to $6,000 a year. And so far, I have contributed $785 towards that. So I still have $5,250 left that I can still contribute. And then, as I was mentioning earlier, I have a vet and medical fund. I would like to have $2,000, as well as a car maintenance fund. I would like to have $2,000. I have not contributed to those guys yet, but I should start being able to over the next couple pay periods. So we still want to get $2,000 to those. And then the next one, I'm thinking about adding a travel fund for any future travel plans, but I haven't really come up with the amounts for that yet, and it's just not a real hot priority right now. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for that. Right now, these other funds are my priorities. And Roth IRA 2020, which I thought was like a low priority, and then stupidly realized I only have until tax day to contribute. So since I stuffed all that money at it, I have now contributed $4,365.07 overall, which means I have $1,634.93 left to go. And something I forgot to mention back here is that a good chunk of this, $1,013.07 of this amount that I was able to contribute this month came from an individual investing account that I had that I didn't really see the point of or the need for, just because I have my 401k and I have my Roth IRA. So I closed out that account and transferred the money over to my Roth IRA. So that made up a little over $1,000 of that contribution. So that was helpful that I didn't have to pull all of that straight from my paycheck. But anyway, now we can go back to the top. And from my March budget review video, if we recall my April monthly money goals, the first one was to have a no spend challenge. But as I pointed out down here, I did fail at that because I bought a plant stand and some plant pots and got a haircut. So that was a big nope, failed on that. But I did pretty good. Even though I didn't spend $0, I still spent a lot less than I had been in previous months. So it certainly made my mindset about spending a little bit more controlled. And when I got the urge, I reminded myself, no, I'm trying not to spend. So it did help. It helped. So can't be mad at that. And then one of my other goals was to get my $10,000 general emergency fund fully funded, which I did. Yay. It's a big heck yeah. And then the third goal was to get $200 contributed to my Roth IRA. I would say that one definitely got smashed, so that is fantastic. 2 out of 3 goals were a big heck yeah. Can't really be mad about that. I'm pretty happy with it. Overall, like I said, I was trying to be having a frugal month and ramp up the savings and investing. But unfortunately, I had to pull from savings for my student loans, but only because of my Invisalign was a big drain on my money this month, as well as realizing I needed to get my Roth 2020 invested real quick before tax day. So it is what it is. It's not a loss in savings, in my opinion. It was a gain in investing, so it's not a big deal. I think I can still hit my $30,000 towards student loan goal for the full year, so it's gonna be okay. And I'm pretty sure my next paycheck I can close out this Roth 2020 and get the rest of that fully funded, which is very exciting. And then I have plans to get the vet and medical and car maintenance funds funded directly after that. And then I will have all of that taken care of. And my big focus will just be getting $30,000 saved up to pay towards my student loans and slowly trickling more money at my Roth 2021. So pretty exciting. Again, huge month when I wasn't trying to. But again, closing on my investment property was a huge win for me. So I'm very happy overall. So two out of 3 goals completed. I think that's pretty good. And a no spend challenge, I missed my other goal by going over by $62. Whatever. I'm okay with that. So for next month, my money goals that I want to complete for the month of May are to fully fund my Roth IRA for 2020, which again, I think I have until tax day, May 17th. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm learning all this stuff as I go, but I will be able to take care of that next paycheck, I'm quite certain. And then also this month, I'm pretty sure I can probably close out either one of my vet or medical or car maintenance emergency funds. I think I will be able to complete one of those as well. So those are going to be my 2 money goals for the month of May. I can't really think of anything else that I will be able to do or would even care to do for the month. So I'm going to leave it at those 2 goals, and yeah, happy financing, and I will catch you guys in the next one.